Rebecca?
You are now.
Okay, so good morning. This is the meeting of the 95 Lawrence Evaluation Task Force Evaluation Committee. The meeting's being recorded. We're all here, which is wonderful. Becky, thank you for sending that section 6 and 7 in the form that you did. It was so very helpful. And I do want to let everybody know that Laura Schufelt can join us at 10:30 today. So we may have some burning questions by the time she can get on. And then she will be able to be with us for the first hour of our 2 meetings when Becky won't be here. So we'll have some extra support. And she's also blocked off the morning of September 10th, hopefully being able to arrange presentations that day. So that's all good news for us.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So this morning we want to go through the minimum criteria, and then I hope we'll have time to talk a little bit more about the site visits and references, and follow up with any questions we might have for Laura. So shall we get right into the minimum requirements? Becky, do you want to take us through it, and I'll make any extra detailed notes as we discussed?
Sure. Does anybody have any questions before we get right into it, or we'll just start? Okay. All right. So you guys all have the document in front of you. I'm assuming you've read through it. You've noticed that I have the 3 different developers, so that'll make it easy for us to weed out who didn't meet the minimums. So we'll start with section 6, the development team. I'll skip the first paragraph since it kind of explains that section, and we'll just go right to the name, address, email address, and telephone number of the proposer, the name of any representative authorized to act on his or her behalf, and the name, title, and contact information for the individual designated by the developer to receive all correspondence from the town and its agents. I think that one's a pretty easy one. We can circle yes on all of them.
Right.
Anybody? So I'm also thinking, I know you're a task force. I haven't been to a lot of your meetings. Do you take official votes at your meetings? Is that how you? Okay. Yeah. So why don't we go through, and then at the end we'll take a vote to accept what we talked about instead of doing it each.
Oh, yes.
Much easier, right? Okay. All right. So everybody, yes on that one. Okay. The names and primary responsibilities of each individual on the development team. I think we could say yes on that.
Yes.
If the proposer is not an individual doing business under their own name, a description of the firm in legal form and status of the organization, example, whether a for-profit, non-for-profit, a general or limited partnership, a corporation, LLC, LLP, in the jurisdictions in which it is registered to do business. If the proposer is a nonprofit entity, please include a list of the organization's board of directors and areas of expertise they represent.
They all did that, I think.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. Can I just make sure, qualify, Civico is an LLC and the other 2 are nonprofits? Is that
correct?
How you read it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It did. Can you guys hear me okay? Because I have my AC on, so I just want to make sure you can hear me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Olga has a question.
I don't feel that I can really answer that question and know that it's a proper sole developer. I mean, I'm accepting somebody else's expertise on this. I really don't feel that I'm qualified to say that LLC is the sole developer. I don't know if I could put a name to it. I'll just say that. I'm voting, it's understood that you feel they qualify.
Very much.
Are you saying proving that they're an LLC? Is that what you're?
Well, by looking through the RFP, the proposal, I don't know that I could say for sure that it meets, that I know the name, description, the legal form. I mean, I feel like I'm not versed in that. So I take your view, your evaluation as the evaluation.
I think
So when I opened the bids up, their bid forms and that sort of thing, that had their official titles, you know, that they were an LLC or whatever, you know what I'm saying, a nonprofit, that was on their forms.
And we didn't get those forms then.
Yep, they were in the bid packages.
Yeah, I mean, on page 26 of Civicos, it does describe the name of the LLCs that, and so I think that, you know, we're taking that.
We have to believe it. I mean,
right.
yeah, yeah.
And I think if it came down to choosing, you know, when we actually choose somebody, you know, we would, you know, vet them.
Yeah.
But we have to take for what they write and that they're signing to be, you know, attested and true. So unless anybody disagrees on that. Harry, I kind of thought I saw your hand come up.
Yeah, on Civico, the very last page of the proposal has the certificate of authority exhibit, and it does state the full name of the LLC, state of incorporation, place of business, and it is signed by the LLC's managing partner. So it's a pretty clear affirmative statement. The other question I had about Civico was they say in their proposal they are going to hire a management team, but it doesn't sound like to manage the project post completion, but it doesn't sound like they actually have one yet.
Right.
Shouldn't we just take all of these in order? And
yeah, right.
Yeah, but you know, all the questions are good because that's
so
how.
I think then it's Exhibit N, because I was searching the whole community builders. Saying, where the hell does it say it's, you know, an LLC and it's going to, so it's Exhibit N is really.
Very last, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I just didn't catch that.
But, okay, yep.
We'll move on. Okay. The ownership structure of the entity to enter into ground lease and land development agreement with the town and its relationship to any investors, lenders, and guarantors of debt, if any.
That I didn't understand completely, but.
I found that POA followed really this very clearly in their proposal. So on page 24, you actually see where POA states that. I'm assuming the others are good too, but yeah, as Dan says, I think we can feel confident, but the LDA and ground lease are pretty standard parts of.
It's the point of the what they bid on.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Identification of all principals, partners, co-venturers, or sub-developers participating in the transaction, and the nature and share of participants' ownership in the project.
Rebecca, I had a question with regard to POA and the relationship with CDP with this in the context of this question. What is the relationship for this proposal?
I mean, everybody can weigh in on this. I'm only one person, but I think that they're partnering up because they both bring different things to the table to make. Is that what you're?
No, I understand that, but then it's at the end it says, "in the nature and share of participants' ownership in the project."
Who's doing what? I think is that what that means?
Exactly. Yes. What is the relationship between? It's just a clarification question that I have. Is that I didn't see in the proposal that was spelled out.
Oh, okay.
Because they're not as a sub so much as a co-developer.
A worker.
Partner.
Yeah, what I understand from POA is that they usually partner with a community organization, like they've partnered with HAC with many of their other projects on the Cape. And in their proposal, it does say that the CDP and Jay Coburn in particular will be doing a lot of the communicating with the town. They sort of name him and Corey, but there is a statement that they'll sort of be coordinating communication.
Right, I don't have any problem with that, Elaine. I'm just, this specific question here is the nature and share of participants' ownership in the project. And all I'm asking is, can we get that clarified?
What does ownership?
Yeah.
Why? That's what I don't understand.
Responsibility. Is that what it means? The responsibility for the
That's how
project?
I'm reading it.
That kind of ownership.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, it's not percentage.
It's not giving money or no, not that.
Okay. All right.
I don't think.
We can ask Laura if she has any clarification for us on that
You want
one.
me to make a note on that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Move on.
Yep.
Identification of the person designated to be the property manager. If the property developer will also be the property manager. If this is not the case, state the legal financial relationship between the entities and describe the process for securing property management services and criteria and minimal qualifications it will use in selecting the property management firm.
Seems like Civico really fails on this one.
It's a weak section on theirs. The other two are certainly very strong in this area. I do believe in our RFP, though, it does say if you don't name a property manager, you at least have to say the process you're going to use. And the process, they say, is not terribly clear.
Clear, right.
But did they meet the minimum requirement in the RFP saying you have to? I think they did, but not very strongly.
Well, I can say yes and write that little note there if you want.
I mean, they don't mention any qualifications that they're interested in.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they're looking at their development as a neighborhood of sort of almost individual things as opposed to a complex that might need more management. So it's a very different approach than the other two.
It's also a financial approach in a way that the others are not. So
Yeah, I have a note in my notes from when I was looking it over.
Mhm.
And I put a note, a lot of double talk.
Excuse me. You know, they meaning Civico, questioned the need for an on-site manager. They say our analysis will include a review of pre-existing management contracts not dissimilar to the site visits that the town of Wellfleet will conduct for respondents. I'm not sure what that means. The best endorsement for a property management company's capacity is the performance at similar sites in a similar locale. And so that's all I could find about their plan to select a management team. Which
Yeah, I was going to say that I didn't see it so much as double speak as they are hoping to look at management as whether regard that it's going to be deemed necessary for this particular development, or they're looking to hire somebody local, boots on the ground already here, which could be somebody like CDP. They do a lot of management. So I'm giving them a yes. I think it's weak, but they have addressed the question.
Yeah, they did state they would support 24-hour emergency services as
Yep.
part of management, but not really committing to any kind of on-site.
On-site.
I do think they probably fulfilled the very minimum requirement. It might look different when we go, you know, their rating on that in the evaluation criteria won't be
Right.
high, but I don't know if anybody put a no here or if we want to. I think they squeaked through on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and they are yes or no's because they're minimum. We're not evaluating like we will be later.
Right.
It's, you know, so.
Advantageous, highly advantageous.
Yeah, these are just minimum yes or no. So I think we have to really look at it, I guess, unless we're not clear on the question, like we weren't in the previous one, even if it's not strong, it's either a yes or no.
I guess it's a yes, right?
I think so. I think we have to give them that yes.
Okay. All right, identification of the development team, such as architects, engineers, landscape designers, contractor, and development consultants. In addition, provide background information, including firm qualifications, resumes for principals and employees expected to be assigned to the project. That's a yes.
Everybody got a yes.
Yeah, I think that's
Yes.
a pretty clear yes for everybody.
Okay. A summary of the developers in the development team's experience, both collectively and individually with similar projects. Particular attention should be given to demonstrate experience with projects of a similar scale and complexity, site conditions, permitting issues, design and financing, as well as location. Proposers should demonstrate the ability to perform as proposed and to complete the project in a competent and timely manner, including the ability to pursue and carry out design, permitting, financing, construction, and marketing unit absorption.
Well,
Yep.
so.
Rebecca?
Yep.
This is the one where I put question marks under Civico since
Okay.
it's that bolded area which says projects of a similar scale and complexity.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at their relevant projects, I don't think they're actually the contractor or the primary developer on some of these. They're participants, but I had a question about that because when you look down, the architect is actually the person from Civico, and different companies given Olinger Architects. So it, like in the first one, Abbey Road, I think it's actually developed with someone else.
Okay.
And the question I have is, were they in fact the lead developer on all of these projects? And are they in fact similar in scale and complexity? I just wasn't comfortable giving them a straight yes on it, and I just raised that issue.
Yeah, I think their projects were different, but there are three references that they give. I mean, I think the Lincoln, the Oriole one.
Oriole one is the one that,
yeah, they don't have as many similar projects, but.
Right. All I'm responding to is that you know we bolded this area, and do we feel that they do or not? And if we do, we do.
Again, I think they met the minimum requirement in this category, but again, when we get later on into the evaluation process, we can grade it. But for right now, I think they met the minimum.
Yeah.
In their examples.
Okay. Thank you, Kathleen. Right. So we're going to move on to the format section. Proposers should use the following format to submit the information required for referenced projects: project name, location, project type, number of residential units, project scope, start date, projected and actual completion date, total development cost, development team, key personnel, and the current status.
I think I read all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
In listing the relevant projects, I could never get an address, just the town. Is that sufficient for location?
yeah. I looked a bunch of them up. So yes.
I think
mean,
it's all, you could look them up online and find that out, but.
And we can Google them too.
Right.
So we think yes on that one, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Narrative on why the proposer's experience is relevant to the Lawrence Road housing project. That's pretty broad, but I think they all,
Got a yes?
I think so. Okay. Right. Description of the organizational structure of the development team and a plan for the maintenance of effective communications between the town and the development team during all phases of the project.
I think I saw that on all of them.
They all addressed it. Yeah.
Okay. Information regarding any legal or administrative actions, past, pending, or threatened that could relate to the conduct of the proposer, its principals, or any affiliates.
I did not see that in the Civico proposal.
I didn't either.
Yes, I have a question as well.
Go ahead, Gary.
I'm sorry, I'm just agreeing with people.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see it either.
Okay, so I can write no for Civico, and then we could all go back and look that up just to double check after the fact.
Okay.
Via email on that. So does everybody agree that Civico is a no on that?
Yeah, and part of the thing is that they have all these different partners, and it's possible there's some problem with one of the other of their projects or partners. So we have to find that out.
Okay. So we'll do no on that. Confirmation that no local, state, or federal taxes are due and outstanding for the development team or any constituent thereof. I guess it's something we would actually need to look up, right? And or is that?
Well, there's a certification as to taxes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
At least from
POA?
At least from the submitting organization. So it is, where is it? Requires
An attachment, right?
Yeah, it's one of the exhibits. There's a certification of tax compliance, Exhibit K, and of non-collusion.
They all submitted that. Because I did that with the bid opening.
Yep.
So yep, that's a yes.
That is what this is referring to.
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking of it that way, but Gary's right.
Okay.
And I have a question here, Rebecca, is if something is likely to come up with regard to taxes, liens, or other issues in that regard, our consultant is likely to bring that forward to us. Am I correct?
I think the consultant's role is limited to evaluating the financial proposals around construction and management in the responses.
They don't get a chance to look at previous issues.
I think that's a much broader project, much broader scope.
Okay, I'm just asking.
And we can perhaps take a look at the scope of services that I've drafted before I send it out, because I do intend to send that out today because time is pretty short.
Okay.
We can ask Laura about that. I mean, I think some of the questions we had, we can just check with Laura too.
All right. So we'll move along. Provision of third-party references for 3 completed projects, including 1 affordable housing project. Provide contact names, title, and current telephone numbers who could provide information to the town concerning the proposer's experience with similar projects.
Yes.
I think that's a yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, moving on to the development concept section. The proposal must include a detailed description of the development concept for the property and its improvements, included but not limited to number and size of units, square footage and number of bedrooms, and affordability levels. A narrative as to why and how of the mixed bedrooms, sizes, and affordability was determined to ensure project financial feasibility and appropriateness for the marketplace.
Yes.
Becky, can I just stop for a minute? Will somebody be looking for Laura when she tries to get in around 10:30?
Yeah, it'll pop up on the top of the screen. So
Okay.
I'll pay extra attention now that it's 10:30.
Okay.
Okay, so the preliminary site design, that's a yes.
Yes.
Discussion of the physical plan and architectural character of the project and the various pragmatic and physical elements of the development, including energy savings, green design elements of the buildings, and site design.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a yes for everybody.
Yeah.
All right. Construction and staging plan and discussion of construction impacts as to how the project will be managed to limit impact on neighbors and especially the school, in particular with respect to noise and traffic during the construction period.
I only saw one little paragraph in Civico's as compared to much more robust responses from the other two, but they did give us a paragraph on that.
Okay, so yes. Project financing, provide sources and uses pro forma, see comparative evaluation criteria, and describe previous experience in securing such funding. Describe in detail what, if any, local, state, or federal subsidy money will be sought to create affordability and the timeline for securing those sources. Isn't Civico not?
They're taking a different path.
Yeah.
But they did.
But they did explain what they were doing, so, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so yes. Projected 10-year operating budget.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Letters of interest from both construction and permanent lenders mentioned in the comparative evaluation criteria.
Didn't see any for Civico.
It's a different thing, yeah. They're going to finance it differently, so they wouldn't have letters, would they? Or
right.
Have promissory promises or something from funding, but they wouldn't have letters of interest, I don't think. I don't know.
Because of the different way they're going.
Right, exactly. I don't know.
Okay.
So we'll give them a no for this?
No, I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying that that's
non-applicable.
Not an applicable requirement for the way they do business, the way they're going to fund it.
But this question in front of us, Jan, is asking, did they present letters of interest? In this particular case with Civico, no, they didn't.
No, they didn't. That's true, but it's
because they didn't have to.
Right.
I don't know.
By default, if you will.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if I would agree with the fact that they wouldn't have any based on the way they're doing it.
Yeah, could somebody elaborate on that for me, please? Because I don't understand where the assumption is that they don't need financing comes from.
They need financing, but they don't.
Well, they're just not going for low income housing tax credits, probably, but they still have to go to all other kinds of places to get financing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they mentioned CPA and something else. Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't provide any.
They list.
I think when you're doing yes or no, the answer is no.
Yeah, see, they list 3 lenders on page 21 under funding experience, but they don't provide anything beyond contact information for staff at those lenders. So there's nothing from the lender that says, yeah, we're interested in this project.
Right.
We'd like to take a look at it.
So would we agree the answer is no on this question?
Kind of think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
A no-brainer.
Can I ask just a general question? What does a no in any of these boxes for any of these developers mean in terms of certify them as an acceptable submission?
Means that they didn't meet the minimum requirement and they don't move on to the next step.
Yep.
So any no in any box would eliminate a potential developer?
It would be fatal to that proposal, yes.
Yeah, so I'm asking that only in, I agree with people's interpretation. They would need to borrow substantial money and they don't show us that capability, at least here. But it's just really important to understand that voting no is effectively eliminating them.
And we may back up a little bit, depending on what insight Laura can provide. That's one source of advice on this. The other one is to put these two specific things to town council and say, do they satisfy the legal requirement?
Oh, that's a good idea, Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we before we sink anybody, to use your word, Harry, fatally, it would be good to get some professional guidance on this.
Yeah, I agree.
Completely agree.
I can draft an email today. If we can get through all of the minimums, I'd like to. Then if we have questions, I can draft an email to KP and I'll have Rebecca or Charlie follow up with the answer while I'm gone.
Yeah,
let's try to get through everything, and that way there we can take the outstanding questions and all.
Right, in that regard of getting through these things, I think one of the things that stuck out to me so simply, because it was such a simple one, was they had to give us 11 by 17 drawings of how this whole thing was going to be, and there are no 11 by 17 in the Civico. So
well, there are, but they used two sheets
pages.
with the binding coil in between.
Yeah. So does that count? I mean, is that okay?
Well, at this level, I think it counts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's.
I was going to say, if that's going to sink them, then.
No. At this level, they would move on.
That would be close enough, I would say.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So to get back to this question, Rebecca, let's just leave a check mark next to this. We'll go yes for the other two and a check mark next to Civico. Now, if we could run this by KP Law to see if they did meet the requirement.
I have the feeling Laura could probably answer that. I'm looking at
we'll ask her when she gets here, but
she's not in yet, but yes.
Yeah. Let's keep moving, and that way there we can go back after. Let's just get through it. So
great, thank you.
The proposal must, so now we're on to the 11 by 17, including site plan that describes parking layout and number of parking spaces and building footprints.
Yep.
I guess, yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Landscape plan with sufficient detail on how the plan addresses limiting the project impact around surrounding areas and the users of those areas.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Floor plans, those are yes.
Yep.
Elevations and material indications.
Yes.
Typical unit plans.
Yep.
Yes.
Color rendering.
Yep.
yes.
Okay, cruise right through that section. All right, management plan. Please provide a management plan that includes the following: description of the target market. For an example, pricing and the strategy for marketing and lottery process.
Yes.
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 In addition, if the proposer is including a property manager as part of the team, all relevant information is outlined under the development team above, including details of any projects where the proposer and manager have previously worked together.
Yes.
Okay. Lottery for affordable units to ensure a fair and equitable selection process for the affordable units. A lottery shall be conducted for all the affordable units. Proposals may include a lottery agent as part of the development team. A marketing lottery plan shall be required as part of the approval of the units for inclusion on the subsidized housing inventory prior to the issuance of the building permit. For the proposal, the proposer shall indicate any lotteries they have been involved in, their role, and the outcomes.
I didn't see that.
I think with Civico using Hack as their lottery agent, that satisfies that because they've done a lot of them, and the other two their own.
Okay.
Experience with low income housing tax credits if proposed as a funding source. So that's worded in a way where you can say
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Experience with project-based rental assistance, Section 8, 811, and or MRVP if proposing such subsidies.
We certainly know POA and the community builders do. I don't know how much experience Civico does have, but I'm sure they've done some. So, I mean,
it wasn't explicit, but yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what, guys? Can I just throw up I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to throw up a cautionary on this, is that we can understand something or imply something, but the question is, did they actually state they have experience or not? And obviously on two of them, yes. And one of them, the question is, do they show us experience?
Yeah, they do, because they show a couple of, well, they're only doing
examples. 4. Yeah.
I can't remember where.
On page 75, they talk about community-based housing eligible units, and although they don't say that they've done it.
And this specific question here is with Section 8.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, they have, obviously, because in their project lists, they do the percent affordable. So they have a project with 75% affordable, 100%. Those are actually in process right now. It's not crystal clear.
Again, this is minimum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So crystal can be kept for, later maybe. Huh? I don't know.
Yep.
So yes.
Yes. Yeah. And I've got a check mark next to it. I'm going to ask Laura if she can illuminate more example for them. But
okay. All right. The proposer and or its property manager must demonstrate a clear understanding of fair housing requirements and laws.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Sure. I mean, that's taken, for granted.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, good.
A clear understanding of the local preference, opportunities, and requirements, and how the lottery will address any local preference.
Yes.
Yes.
Ability and commitment to utilize appropriate stated standards to determine program and unit eligibility. For example, qualified tenants.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Clear criteria for tenant selection in a fair and unbiased selection process. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Competency for selecting properly qualified tenants.
Yes.
Yep.
Ability and commitment to maintain all necessary reports and certifications required under state and federal law.
Had no idea how to answer.
I don't know how
No, how do you?
Yes, right?
We're going to have to assume yes on all three, but yeah.
I mean, they're all saying they're committed, right?
Asked for an awful lot. That's all I have to say.
It's a broad question, yeah. Implementation plan and timeline. The proposed development should be completed within 3 years of execution of the land development agreement. Extensions may be granted at the discretion of the select board. The proposal must include a description of how the development concept will be implemented, including but not limited to detailed development schedule for all elements of the plan, including key milestones, financing benchmarks, zoning approvals and compliance, and projected completion with an occupancy timeframes.
Yeah.
Saying
Yeah.
yes?
Yeah, I would say yes.
Don't fade
No,
out.
in my copy of the Civico proposal, that part of it was blank.
Well, they do say, Jay, in the implementation and timelines, this is page 104, it says the permitting process they expect to take around 400 days. And then do they talk about construction? Maybe not.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
They do give a date of when they expect to be finished construction, but they don't give a timeline of that.
Yeah, they sort of address it. They're also kind of going with a different approach. They're calling LIP Plus. Instead of going directly for the comp permit, they want to meet with all the boards and committees first. So they do lay out that schedule and talk about this could potentially, this process, their funding in the process could cut a year off of the development. So I think they have narrated it.
They've thought about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, enough to say that they've met the yes, but yeah.
I agree with this. Right, we're not evaluating the quality of what they've said, right. Only if they met the minimum requirement. Yeah. I think in that case, that the answer is yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, actually they say very first, furthermore, it's understood that the designated developer will complete the development within 3 years of execution of the development agreement. So that's the very first paragraph of Civico's implementation and timeline.
Yeah.
So
they covered it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Outline of the required land use, environmental operation, and other governmental or regulatory approvals, including zoning, development, and environmental permits. The proposer should provide a schedule for securing approvals as a part of the proposal. The proposer should note what zoning variances, special permits, or modifications, if any, are required as a part of the development plan.
I think they all do this.
Sort of a continuation of the last one.
Yep.
Okay, so yes. All right. Developer selection criteria. This is section 7 now. Minimum threshold criteria. The following are minimum criteria for proposal consideration. Proposals that do not clearly and fully convey compliance with these minimum criteria will not be considered. So that's explicitly spelled out there.
Yep.
Complete conformance with all submission requirements, section 6. So they would have had to get a yes in section 6 the whole way down for this to be a yes. And I guess we can't quite say that for Civico. Are you guys agreeing?
Right.
Yeah, I would need some, yeah.
So, I mean, we'll do some further investigating on that.
Yep.
That no, but for now it's a no.
Mm-hmm.
The next question I highlighted yes, because I checked that when I opened the bids.
Yep.
Right.
Proposer must have a minimum of 5 years experience. That's a yes.
Yep.
Successful track record of similar projects with at least 3 references. Yes.
How successful, we don't really know, but yet until we call those references, right?
Right.
Availability to begin work towards permitting within 60 days of executing the land development agreement and show sufficient staff resources and availability to perform required services.
I would say that's a yes.
Okay. Again, the next one I highlighted yes, because I checked all that when I
Yep.
opened the bids.
Mhm.
They're there. Oh, that's it. That's it.
That's the last one.
That was not too bad. I thought that would take longer than it did.
Yeah, so I think, unfortunately, I know Laura's life is crazy, so she hasn't been able to join us yet. I think some of our questions we could follow up with her before potentially having to involve town council.
Yeah, that's fine. Elaine, do you want to ask her and then I'll just stay in the loop? We could try to get an answer today so that I can email council and get that ball rolling, because council typically doesn't answer quickly. So and I can email council anyways. It doesn't hurt. It's really, we're not asking them for a lot. We're only asking for
well, Rebecca, since this is a legal procurement process that the town is engaging in, I have greatest respect for Laura, but if I would feel better if we had any question that was really open to get an opinion from town council to have a firm ground to stand on.
Yeah, I think I feel comfortable doing that too. And like I said, they're there and we can use them. So are you guys looking at your papers like I am, that we have 2 no's?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
But no question mark.
Well, I'm not looking at them as no's. I'm looking at them as potential no's.
Right, that's what I meant.
Until I hear back from.
Till we get the clarity. Okay. So I will email council. I'm going to copy Charlie and give him a heads up on that answer, and I'll have Charlie communicate with you, Elaine.
Okay.
Just to keep it streamlined and that sort of thing. And I'll copy Rebecca too, actually, since she's the one that's on these meetings as well. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate what Kathleen said, their potential no's, because I think we have to, be very open in the process, and we don't want to bid protest. We want to make sure that we've really addressed our question properly.
And it's great that KP maybe will to just give them a heads up that this process is going to move fairly quickly, and that we would appreciate them being aware that we might be contacting them again.
Yeah, I mean, everything we contact them with, just to give you a heads up, is an emergency. So, I've got like lots of dredging stuff going on right now. I think I just dumped something on them yesterday for the water commissioners to look over an RFP. So they hear from me probably 2 to 3. Oh, and a personnel issue. Yeah, they hear from me 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah, and we're just one town.
I know. The last 2 towns I worked in, I never used KP like I do in Wellfleet. It's crazy. Not so much second guessing myself, but there's just so many projects here that need, legal counsel. So, but
Rebecca, you shouldn't feel bad. You're paying. We are all paying for that. So, and that's their role. And if you need to reach out to them, it's much better to do it than to hesitate to do it.
No, and I do, but it's like I said, I've never been in such contact with them. In meetings too. We have a lot of Zoom meetings with council. We had one yesterday. So, do you guys have anything else for me right now?
Oh, we need to talk about our site visits, I think.
Okay. Well, I'm going to sign off if that's where you guys are at with that. Elaine, I'm going to make you the host.
Before you go, Rebecca, can we just take a quick look at the scope of services for the financial review, just to make sure that I've done what the group wants
Yeah, do you want me to pull it up?
Oh, well, I can, if I can share my screen, I can show you.
Okay.
If I'm allowed.
I don't know if you are or not. Oh, you are.
Okay, let's see if I can find it again. Okay, here we go. This is the attachment to the request for quotes, and the piece that really is important is this paragraph here.
General overview?
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for doing this, Harry. This is great.
It is.
Indeed.
Yeah. And then I have just again down here another comment.
Another bullet, yeah.
Just to say.
And Harry, I spoke with Charlie yesterday. He knows that this is coming his way.
Yep.
Potentially. And I told him you had the KP contract and that you'd mark it up, and he knows that it's coming out of the administration budget, and so just so you know, he's aware of it.
Okay, so I will shoot this along with the request for quotes cover sheet and the standard contract to all the names that I have as possible consultants, and I'll do that today. Yes, Gary?
I'm sorry. Harry, did you size this and you determined that we couldn't do it by 3 quotes, that this is a larger project and we would need to go the RFP process?
No, I think we can do it by 3 quotes because we're talking about $3,000.
And do you think that's a realistic estimate?
Well, I have no idea. I don't know.
Well, it's 25 hours at $125 an hour. That's the way that I figured it out.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty.
That should be enough. Yeah.
Okay, so this is 3 verbal quotes. It's not a written RFP response.
Right.
Well, it's a written it's an RFQ actually. So attached documents, you should probably change that to RFQ.
Right, that's why I was asking the question about the process.
Yeah, change all the P's to Q.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make a note of that.
So I would hope that if someone that's interested but feels it's not enough, they could respond. And I don't know. When we put that in, are we really tied? Have we tied our hands?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I can remove it and we just see what we get for numbers. We have the ability to say no to all of them if they all say that it's a $30,000 project.
Right. I mean, the goal is to, I mean, it's under 10,000, we're using sound business practices. So as long as they're responsive and responsible, and you know, we basically pick the lowest price that's responsive and responsible, right, Harry?
Yep, I agree.
So if you can take out the amount, if you think.
I think you just delay it. If you take out the amount and they all come in too much, then you have to do it all over again. And we need this done quickly. So I think we need to know, quickly.
Yeah, we're talking about a project that's going to be done in about 17 or 18 days.
Right.
Yeah, 20 days.
I mean, if it was me and I had that expertise, I could probably bang that out in a weekend. Like, you know, I just think about the stuff that I do that takes, okay,
a
lot of.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
Okay, so we'll clean that up and get it out.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Stop sharing. Okay.
So do you guys need me for anything else? Because I just have this is my last day before.
Yeah, good luck.
Bye, Rebecca.
Good luck with
Happy
your
move, Rebecca.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay.
Best wishes. Thank you.
It'll be great to have you here. All right. So the site visits. Did you all see the draft spreadsheet that Gary and Olga put together?
Yes.
Yes.
Could I just comment that we went in, when we talked about it the other day, we talked about a few people going casually. And when we really started to think about it and to scope it out, we kind of came to the conclusion that maybe we have to take a more formal approach.
Oh, yeah.
To notify them, and we can go as a group, and both in terms of the information we get as well as the fairness.
Right. Yeah. My only concern was with COVID, how people feel about traveling together. Right. I mean, I definitely agree we have to touch base with these people and make arrangements.
Okay.
I was looking at them, and I sort of think we have 3 groups, 3 different.
Can you put it up on the screen, Elaine?
They made me the host, so let me find it. Put it up. Okay. Let's see. Screen. This is going to take me a while.
I was going to say, you could make Olga, she's the one who has the original.
Does that make a difference?
I don't know. Do you
He has
have
a
it
copy of it. No.
Right.
Here we go.
I don't know how to share.
Are people seeing it now?
No, not yet.
Well, let's see. I have it up on my computer, and thought I was doing screen sharing. Let's see what's going on.
Well, hang on.
Okay, let me go back here. It's behind here, but I can't figure out how to get it up front.
Well, Harry's our tech wizard. He'll figure it out.
Hang on. Oh, there it is. There's, yeah.
Got it? You're seeing it now?
Yes.
Just
No,
I don't
see the listing of the files.
No.
Not the document itself.
Right.
No,
everybody has the document.
Yeah.
If someone knows how to put it on, didn't everybody get it?
Yes.
Just
but I
this
don't know how
morning.
to get it at the same time that I have your voices.
Okay, what's the name of the document, Elaine?
Called Site Visits 95
RD.
PDF.
Okay, let me just see if I can.
It's the PDF.
Okay, hang on. Okay, if you will stop sharing, I can share my screen. I've got it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
There we are. I might want to, I'm going to shrink this a little bit, but go ahead.
Hi. I just have a funny question. There's a really nice site on Martha's Vineyard. Is anybody heading out that way?
I was supposed to be going out today, but with the weather forecast, I did not go.
Oh, okay. I thought.
And I've seen it, Elaine. Not recently, but I have been out there. So.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go, but I did know Jim was potentially going, and he could have taken a look for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these sites do have pretty good websites too. So I would encourage everybody to look them up, but let's look at the community builders. Which one would we want to go see there? Definitely Province Landing, right?
Right.
How about going to Westport? Is anybody
I
interested?
go there.
That one looks good.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh.
actually, the Westport one, Lake Street and Chatham, which I didn't see on your list,
Right, yeah.
and the one Osprey Lane and Sandwich, they're all, well, particularly the Westport one and the Chatham one are all approximately the density we're talking about. The
Right.
Westport one's 50 units on 7 acres, and the Chatham one is 47 units on 7 acres. So they're both quite close to kind of what we would expect to see in Wellfleet. The Sandwich one's 36 units on 10 acres, so it's a little more spread out. And the Provincetown one is 50 units on 2.5 acres. It's much denser than I think we would expect to see. If I were going to restrict myself to 2, I probably would be willing to go to Westport and also take a look at the Chatham one.
That's the one. Oh, no, that's not the.
I agree, Harry. For community builders, I would pick Lake Street and Chatham and Westport.
I'm happy to do that with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you wish
Well,
to.
should we look at calendars?
Well, can we go through all of them and then do a calendar?
TCB is Westport and Chatham. They have one in progress in Mashpee, 950 Falmouth Road. I don't know if we wanted to see something in progress or not. I don't know if that's worth it. Okay.
All construction sites are messy.
Okay.
They all look chaotic, and you never know how they relate to what you're going to get when they're done.
Now, I'm thinking of something that you said, Harry, at another meeting about looking to see how the places have been maintained.
And managed.
You don't really get unless you go there.
Yeah.
Like the website probably has a picture the day after they put the sod down or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how about POA?
POA.
Let's see.
Canal Bluffs.
Melpit Farms.
Yeah.
I know you've been there, Elaine.
Yeah. It's, it's much more scattered, but I think the design might be similar. Although when I was looking at Tory Woods online, that design looked a lot like what they might have been proposing for us, but
did you analyze, Harry, the density of those two?
Well, let's see. Canal Bluffs and Bourne is 113 units on 17 acres. So that's about the same density. As we would get.
Yeah.
That has a shared wastewater treatment plant also. Melpit Farms is 6.5 acres, 27 units. So it's about half the density we would be looking at, I think. Tory Woods is 24 units. I couldn't figure out from what I read how big the property was, but they're all jammed into either 1 or 2 3-story buildings.
Okay.
And Falmouth Roads in Mashpee was in 39 units, but it's in progress. So I don't know what the state of play is there.
Yeah. I mean, Canal Bluffs could be seen on the way to Westport.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's right on the way.
Yep.
I'd like to go to Melpit Farms just to see how it's managed and how it looks like. How long has that been up? Laura spoke of that to us a lot during our meetings.
Yeah, 10 or more years, I think. I mean, Melpit and Chatham could be easily seen. And then we could head off Cape if we wanted to make it a real marathon. So
those are my 2 picks, Canal Bluffs and Melpit.
Yeah, mine also.
And how about
Civico?
Civico?
Civico is a little bit more difficult. I think the only 2 that I had any interest in were one in Sherborne and one in Lincoln.
Yeah.
And they're really kind of, Oreo Lane in Lincoln is, it's either 1 or 2 buildings, 60 units.
Mhm.
And Abbey Road in Sherborne looked interesting. They look like they're single family townhouses. There are 18 units in 5 buildings. So they're
Harry, my only
Yep.
comment about Abbey Road, it's a lovely looking development. It's actually not an affordable development. And
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where we get a true picture.
Mm.
Mhm.
And that's a long drive.
Well, they're all long drives.
Well,
Yeah, but Lincoln and Sherborne is a pretty good hike from here.
yeah.
And
It's 128.
Lincoln's 2.5 hours from here, roughly.
Yeah.
Although if we go on a Friday, we might never come back.
Never on Friday. Never on Friday.
It seems like it wouldn't quite be fair not to go.
Can I raise a question?
Yep.
Should we wait till we hear back? Do you think if we have a response relatively quickly, either from Laura or from the town council, regarding if they meet the minimum requirements, then we should go visit them. If they don't, do we need to?
If they don't meet the minimum requirements, then we can't consider them. And
Right. That's why I'm raising that. Yeah, all I'm saying is, Harry, can we put it off for a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah, we can plan
pending that
together.
determination.
We can do these roughly any time during the next roughly 2.5 to 3 weeks.
Right. Right.
Yep. So we have, if we can figure out
I got 2
different days to, I mean, that could all be done in one incredibly long day if we,
We started at 9 a.m. Yeah, we could do my days off are Sundays and Mondays. Right now I'm 5 nights a week through the month of August till Columbus Day.
Well, if we're going to make arrangements, we can't do it for Monday the 23rd, so then it would be Monday the 30th. I'm not sure we can impose. Do you think we could go there on a weekend? No, I don't think. Yeah, maybe.
No, probably not.
And we obviously would like to speak to the property manager and whoever we think.
So what about the 30th?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So the 30th is the
August the 30th, and we'll reach out to a property manager at these sites. And
are we going to try to do all 4 in one day?
Yeah.
Yeah, my schedule for the next 3 weeks is an absolute train wreck, unfortunately. And the 3 days right now when I have nothing on my calendar are August 30th, September 3rd, and September 9th.
Well, the 30th.
Why don't we show up for the 30th? Yeah.
Okay.
That's season.
You lucked out, Harry.
That's fine. And the 9th isn't good anyway, because it's right after.
What about the other folks on the team? Does the 30th work?
I'm not sure if I can budget the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's okay.
And Jay, you could, if you wanted to do a half a day, do the closer ones and not do the further ones.
Yeah, I might do some drive-bys on my own.
Okay.
I have to say that in both of the high school projects, I did not go to visit any of the other high school projects to look at them. I really relied on comments from the other committee members, comments from the project manager, and made my decision based on that. So I regard these as helpful, but not necessary.
Yeah, I actually go past Province Landing all the time. We shop at the Stop and Shop in Provincetown regularly. But I would like to see the one in Chatham myself. And we'll see how things work out.
Okay.
I'm not committing.
Jim and Olga, how does the 30th work for you?
Fine with me.
Fine with me too.
Elaine, should we shoot for a group trip on the 30th to hit as many as we can?
Would it, I can't,
Those
make, Would we want to start with the farthest one? Because if we miss
Oh.
like Millpet Farms, it's easy enough to take a day to go back and see something like that.
Yeah.
So you want to start in Westport and work our
Yeah.
way back?
Yeah.
That's what I would suggest, because the others are much closer. If we run out of time,
Yep.
we can.
So it'd
It's
be
good
Westport,
management.
Bourne, Dennis and Chatham, or Chatham and Dennis? Which which combination do you like?
Is Dennis the one with all those units that are right on the water?
No,
Oh.
no.
Sometimes
So-
you get a little confused. I swear I saw the same photograph of a corner of a building in two of the proposals.
Yeah, but Westport and Canal Bluffs would be the farthest.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's
Right.
do those first, and it'll be a good comparison one after the other. So
Yeah. So I can call.
I'm just going to say, Elaine, maybe you as chair should call and see if you can arrange the. for
Yeah,
that.
they
And-
all, when I was looking at their sites, they all have a number to call, so I can do that and see if we can arrange
And
something.
Right. If you need any help or support, just let Olga or I know.
So if we
And
have,
Elaine, it's Kathleen. I'm wondering if and I could be way off base, if we couldn't reach out to Suzanne Grout Thomas and use the COA van and driver for Monday the 30th to do this, to drive us.
what a
I mean, this
great
is town
idea.
business.
Yep.
Could
Great
be a good way to go. Not using anyone's car.
Yep.
We'd be insured under the umbrella of the town. So anybody want to,
Everybody
Harry?
wearing masks.
I can ask, depending on if they have any activities that they drive people to that day,
Well, their activities right now are still COVID kind of, but
Yeah.
there's two vans and there could be availability for us to use a van and a driver.
Okay, I will check on that. Okay, great. And I think we need to want to start pretty early in the morning,
Yes.
like get going at 8 o'clock or something like that.
Yes.
Or how many people want to go so we can tell Suzanne? I mean, how many people in this bus?
I think it's everybody except
For Jay.
for
Yeah,
Jay.
so
So
leave me out
that's
of it.
7 of us.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. That's taken care of. After we get all our answers about the minimum requirements too, we'll want to talk about calling the references, but we do need to develop a set of questions. I did ask Laura if MHP has any, haven't gotten a response on that yet, but we'll follow up on that. And then at our meeting next, is it Thursdays we're meeting?
Yes.
We can have that together and then give them to our 3 volunteers to call.
Yes.
Okay.
So just to clarify, Elaine, there's nothing that we need to do between now and Thursday
Well,
by way of this process. I mean, for the whole committee.
Well, I think we all need to look at the evaluation criteria. That's one thing I wanted to ask Rebecca, but maybe Harry, you have experience with this. Process, do we want to, does each of those categories get a number? So we end up with a number? What are some?
I don't think when we set up the RFP, and I don't have unfortunately, I don't have a copy of the final RFP.
I don't either.
I have a copy of the draft. I don't have a copy of the one. Yeah. It frequently you see in RFPs that actual number values, weightings are assigned to the qualifications. So it's, pretty easy if you get advantageous, you get this many points and so forth, and you add them all up, you've got a numerical ranking. I don't think we did this on this one.
No.
So it's kind of, you end up looking at it and say, well, this guy got all advantageous and this guy got one unacceptable one. So we're going to you kind of do it that way. I do think it's probably helpful if everybody takes that score sheet and does the looks over the qualifications beforehand, so that when we get to a meeting where we're talking about them, everybody will have thought about each category and will have an opinion on how to rank each responder.
Well, could we go to a points rating if we wanted to?
Laura.
I don't know, but I don't necessarily think you have to. I suspect that there's going to be some clear differences when we're all done.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I think like we did with this sheet today, if we each really...
We were ready for it, right?
Yeah, we look at our own sheets and do our own scoring, but then we will talk about it as a group and get started on that.
Yeah.
Is that what we'll do on Thursday, Elaine? Is actually start to go through these?
Yes.
And are we going to go through one and go through the whole thing, or take all three for each item?
I think we should take all three like we did today.
Yeah.
Highly advantageous, not so much, and rate all three. If we do them individually, Gary, it could get really drawn out.
Yes, no, I'm not advocating, Kathleen, I'm asking.
Yeah, I think that's the more holistic way, that you have one topic and you're talking about all of them at the same time and rating them. So we will plan to do it that way. Ideally, Laura should be with us for the first hour. So that will give us a good start on working through that.
And that meeting is Thursday, the 26th?
At 10, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Have a problem.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop sharing that list.
Okay. I think we're good. Any other questions?
I just was going to ask selfishly, is there any chance we could do Thursday's meeting, only Thursday's meeting at 9? I have a commitment at 10 and a commitment at 11. And I hate to miss any of this. So
is that the meeting on the 26th, Jan?
yes, the next very next
9 o'clock's fine for me.
Just that one time, is that an imposition on people?
No.
Can we do this? It's been posted for 10.
We can change it.
We still have time to change
There's
the
enough
time.
time to change it. And if Laura can't join at 9, if she can still join at 10, we will be
And
able
you'd have her then, yeah.
All right.
And Jan will have fulfilled her commitment.
I'd appreciate it very much.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Oh, I totally get it. I don't want to miss a minute.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with 9.
No, but that's
Good.
fine with me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, good. All right.
Okay.
That's
All right.
happy weekend. Now I'm happy.
Okay. Well,
There you go.
batten down the hatches.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, everybody stay safe.
I'm gonna go move lawn furniture. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Elaine,
so
thank you for the relay to town hall with all of this for me.
you're
It's
welcome.
just been fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you,
I'll
Harry,
see
for
you
getting.
are we still on for tomorrow for 9:15?
At the school. Yeah. We'll
Okay.
see you then. Okay.
All righty. Thank you, everybody.
Yep.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.